Good morning, everybody. Or afternoon, or whenever you're going to hear this. It's as good a time as any to hit play. It's as good a time as any to hit play. To hit record. So why not? Why not? Let's just do it. Alright, where are we at here? Hope you all had a great weekend. We had a nice weekend in the Brenneman household. Oh, I just saw my friend had a baby. Oh, Ryan Greenwood, welcome, man. Long time no see. Larry, was that you I saw in church yesterday? I think it was. Hi, Sam. I'm doing well, my friend. I'm doing well, my friend. Hi, Chad Anthony. Might as well face it, you're addicted to love. Hi, Justin. Justin, I'm guessing our interview, your interview, is gonna come out either. I think. I guess it's my show. I guess I can make the rules. We're crazy like that. Will come out either this weekend or this Thursday or next Thursday. Justin, do you have a preference? Yeah, I'm gonna make an executive decision right now. Do you want it to be this Thursday or next Thursday, Justin? You tell me. Larry, I thought that was you, my friend. I walked in there and I felt this. Wait a minute. I think I sense a spidey sense. And then I saw this svelte young man with a nice beard. I thought, that's Larry. There's Larry. I see him in the flesh. In the flesh. It was good to see you. It was good to stalk you from a distance. It was good to creep on you from a distance. All right, folks. We're very much enjoying this book, The Dichotomy of Leadership, and I'm really excited because I've gotten ahead of myself in the reading and the lesson planning, which means I'm going to start. I got 2 new books. Okay, first of all, I have a problem. I have 2 books right here on my desk. One of them I'll most likely do on the show. The other one, I don't know if I'm going to do on the show. But then I got 2 more books, like frickin' 400-page books, that I want to do on the show. One is a Mr. Rogers biography. And the other one is called The Boys in the Boat. And this one is one I knew nothing about. Dred's wife, Janet, said to Dred, Spanny should read this. And it's about, I believe it's the 1930, I'm looking over here. It's not over there. I don't know what I'm looking at. I believe it's the 1936 Olympic team. I feel like it has something to do with Nazi Germany. And what I read was like, it didn't say ragtag, but it envisioned this just rough group of small town boys who went after winning a gold in, I believe it was the 1930 Olympics in rowing. And I'm super excited to read it because it said like the epitome of grit. Like, okay, gotta read that one. Gotta read that one, my friends. So we got some exciting stuff coming to the show. My friends, if you're here, sharing the videos, subscribing on iTunes, telling your friend, coming back every day, listening every day. You can't make the live streams, just listen every day. Subscribe to the show and listen. It's there for you every day, day in and day out, Monday through Friday. We're at 591 today. That means 595 on Friday. That means 600 next Friday. Maybe we'll have a 600 party. I don't even know. Justin, I'm not sure the people will ever be ready for you, my friend. So you just let me know if you'd like this Thursday or next Thursday. And I'll, well, Dred actually might even be watching right now, but I'll let Dred know, hey, let's go with this one. It'll be a fun one. I think I'm talking a little bit Irish right now, and I don't know why. You know what? Okay, I'll start here in a second. You know what just tickles my heart? The Irish Spring commercials. Just think back to, I don't even remember one in particular. Just feel like I remember like a green field with mist and dew and rain, and then smelling the Irish Spring. That was nice. It was really nice. There's Dread. Dread, Justin is going to let us know. He's going to confirm whether he would like his episode to come out this Thursday or next Thursday. Now, granted, Dread, we may have others in the queue that might be ahead or behind him. Doesn't matter. Making an executive decision. I'm making an executive decision as long as Dredd agrees. So I don't even know if that's technically an executive decision. I think it's like a kind of executive decision. Dredd, I did tell them about the 2 books that I bought. They were both recommended to me by the one and only Dreadster. Edward, I think it's Jose. Edward Jose, I just see a little avatar, so I can't really. Okay, folks, let's do this. Dredd, I was telling them I got ahead of my reading and lesson planning, so I'll probably have the Dichotomy lesson planned out for the week, which means I can dive into one of those other books. And, oh man, then I have another book called Unplugged that's about unplugging. And it says, like, evolving from technology to enhance your health and fitness and overall wellness. So I'm really excited about that, too. All right. Give me a second. Went out of lack. Hold on, I was writing real fast, so my writing's a little choppy. All right, let's get this going, folks. The new people, thanks for tuning in. A couple minutes of banter. Brian McKenzie. Yes, Chad. And Andy Galpin. Is that the same book? Yes, Brian McKenzie and Dr. Andy Galpin, and they have another writer too. Do you know him or that book? And if you know anything about that book, let me know. I read like the first 2 pages, and I realized, actually, thank you for reminding me, I needed a different highlighter because I was using my pen, and my pen was getting all smeared. So I think I might actually use an actual highlighter. Tell me about the book a bit, Chad. I'm going to start recording, but just let me know your thoughts on that book and or them. Yeah, because I got the reference from Kyle Kingsbury, who is the UFC fighter, works down on it. Said it was great. So, all right. Dwayne Finley, are you watching? I just saw you liked it, and I didn't see your name pop up. Dwayne, if you are, my friend, it's good to see you. Always good to see you. Dwayne, your interview is one of my favorite on my show. That was such a fun conversation. All right, let's dive into AMX 591. We're just going to go. Now is as good a time as any. 1, 2, 3. Good morning, my friends. Welcome to the Spaniard Show. Can you believe already we're at AMX 591? The book we're studying now is The Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babby. You can get this book as well as every other book I talk about, which I've been talking on Facebook Live about so many books that I'm about to read. I can't wait to embark on those journeys. You can get any one of them at charliespaniard.com/reading list, and you'll be helping support the show, so know that I sincerely appreciate it. Let's dive into The Dichotomy of Leadership. This is Jocko's chapter. Remember, we're alternating chapters here in this book. Leif writes one, Jocko writes one. Together, they come up with a magnificent book. So Jocko's talking about being confused and disoriented in a battle. So think of a situation, any situation. Me, I'm thinking wrestling match, a fight where you're disoriented. Maybe you get clocked. I remember against Anthony Johnson, I got clocked in the middle of the cage, and I kind of like faltered back. If you watch it, I faltered back, and I'm leaning against the cage, and I was disoriented. I didn't know what was what. I had my mind with me, but my body wasn't connected to my mind. And I remember this is a little bit off the subject, but I remember he planned for that switch kick, that high left switch hit, bop, and we knew it was going to come. And I just remember thinking, oh man, he's kicking me and I can't do anything about it. This is really going to hurt. And I just remember, it was like slow motion. Cognitively, I was there, but slow motion was boom, right on the teeth. I fell right back on my butt. Let's get back to the point. So Jocko's talking about being confused and disoriented in a battle. And he says this quote, and this is simple and profound, right? This whole book is simple but profound. Jocko says this on being confused in battle, quote, I resorted to a technique that I had learned from one of my old platoon commanders. When in doubt, ask. How simple is that? I resorted to a technique. I'm reading this thinking I resorted to a technique I learned from one of my old platoon commanders. I'm thinking, what is it? When in doubt, ask. It's so simple, right? If you remember the book I read, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, success principle number 17 is ask, ask, ask. If you can think back to when I read the book, Brian Grazer's A Curious Mind, producer, director Brian Grazer's A Curious Mind, tremendous book about the value of curiosity and asking questions. I've done a lot of interviews with some really successful people, and more than one, I'm going to say several of them, have commented on my curiosity and how beneficial or how much of an asset that is to have that natural curiosity. Now, here's the deal. You can work on your curiosity. You can develop your curiosity. For me, it's easy because I'm reading and talking about and asking about things that pique my interest. I just want to learn. I want to learn success. I want to learn happiness. I want to learn skills. I'm naturally drawn to those things. So when you're out of when you lack an understanding or you lack clarity or you're out of curiosity, right? Maybe you're just naturally out of curiosity. Look, this morning's Monday morning. The alarm went off at 5:10. I was sitting on my butt at like 5:15. I didn't want to go to the gym. I didn't want to get out of it. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. We just have to. So equate that to curiosity. If you find yourself out of curiosity, boom, kickstart it. Kick yourself in the butt. Kick yourself in the curiosity butt. When you're in those situations, you're a lack of understanding, lack of clarity, you're out of curiosity. Ask questions. Make yourself ask questions. Period. Ask questions. Drop your ego. I'll tell you what, I say this all the time. The best thing that fighting gave me, right? Aside from the really cool memories and the relationships and the stories for my kids and the pictures and the relics, the best thing it gave me was this freedom. It gave me freedom. I'm drawing a theory on why these guys are so humble. Because they've been in battle. They see what's what in battle. That's why they're so stinking humble. Because they know the importance of planning and preparation and humbleness and humility in leadership. I equate that to fighting. Fighting freed me. There's no ego. A lot of the reasons you don't want to ask questions is because you don't want to look dumb. Well, I'll tell you what, you look really dumb when you get knocked out cold on live television. So once you look that dumb, it's like, heck yeah, I'll ask questions. I don't mind asking questions. So drop that ego. Stop pretending like you know everything and start accepting, I know very little, and start accepting the fact that the more you learn, the less you know, because you realize how much more there is to learn. Let's move on to standard operating procedures. The dichotomy in this chapter is disciplined, not rigid. Disciplined, not rigid. So we're talking about standard operating procedures. And in the book, Jocko goes into great depth. It says, while they're necessary and helpful, they need to be balanced. And he says this, think of your own standard operating procedures as a human being, right? As a human, what are your standard operating procedures? What do you do? I just told you what I did on a Monday morning. I'll do that tomorrow morning, the next morning. There's a certain way that I act with my kids, a certain way that we upkeep our house. Those are essentially our standard operating procedures. So Jocko says in the book, quote, standard operating procedures were not fixed, inflexible laws with no room for variation. They were guidelines that needed to be balanced with adaptability and common sense. So these standard operating procedures, they're a standard deviation. We're working from this line. They're not inflexible laws. They were guidelines that needed to be balanced with adaptability and common sense. Have you ever stuck to a script? So whatever, I don't care what you do. Have you ever been in a situation, and this is why I cannot speak from a script. If people ask me to write out a speech, I just can't do it because I'll sound like a robot. Have you ever called someone? I mean, you certainly have. You have cable or you have internet. You call a call center, and they're not even humans. They're not even humans that you're talking to. They're just reading from a script. And when you read from a script and when you adhere to that, when you're rigid like that, you can't even think like a human being. You're a robot. You're talking without any thought. I love how they point out this idea of balancing your discipline with adaptability and common sense. He goes on to say, quote, excessive discipline can stifle free thinking with team leaders and team members. So that excessive rigidity, it makes you become a robot. You're not even talking. You're not even human. You're not even individual. You want a value proposition? Be the best you, because there's only one you on the planet. There's only one you on Earth. So if we go back to Mr. Rogers, one of the greatest gifts you can give anybody is a gift of your honest self. Yeah, be disciplined, but don't be so rigid that you're not yourself. You have to be yourself. Moving on. talking a little bit more about the standard operating procedures. So as a SEAL, Jocko says this, quote, "The disciplined standard operating procedures were aligned to deviate from, and we had the freedom to act quickly based on those procedures." If you think back to discipline equals freedom, that's it. They had those standard operating procedures. They were very disciplined. And because they were very disciplined and they knew that deviation, they were able to move left and right as needed, as they adapted. Now, think back. I've been mentioning this a few times in the last couple of weeks. Vince Lombardi, I read his book, When Pride Still Mattered. Tremendous book on coaching in life. And in the book, he was very simple, right? He's a very, very simple coach. He said, instead of making it complex and having 20 plays, I'd have 4 plays, right? 4 plays, teach the discipline to perfectly execute those 4 plays, and then I'd give them the freedom to run those 4 plays 20 different ways. So there you have it. There you have discipline, but not rigidity. Discipline, yet freedom. Think of this, think of your own standard operating procedures. Are they necessary? Many, many times I look at my own operating procedure and think, maybe I should change that, Spanny. This has been AMX 591, the Dichotomy of Leadership. I appreciate you all tuning in. Show us some support. CharlieSpaniard.com. Follow Spaniard Show on iTunes. Read a book. See ya. When Pride Still Mattered, tremendous book. Tremendous book by Vince Lombardi. Yes, Chad. The whole book. I don't know if you listened to the podcast or not. Aside from the live streams, but if you have, you would have heard me talking about it. But one of the cool things to touch on what you said there about the leader being able to empower his or her followers. I mean, that's essentially what the whole book is about. But there's a thing that I never heard of before. Maybe it's common amongst leadership people, but leadership capital. And where is that? But basically, leadership capital is that there's only so much power / influence that a leader has over his or her subordinates. So it's kind of like pick your battles wisely, pick and choose wisely, so as to not waste all that capital. It's kind of like a budget. So yeah, that's that, folks. I was still at the gym before 5:10. That's wasting half the day. Dennis, I think you're making fun of me. You do know where I live, Dennis. So I'll be here today. So if you'd like to come over, you could. We'll go to the gym, see what's what. Okay. All right, my friends. Yeah, that's AMX 591. 592 is tomorrow. Please come back. Please subscribe to the show. Subscribe to the show. That's like a really helpful thing. And get your books off my website. I get a little bit of a kickback, so that's always nice. Yeah, tell your friends. Come back tomorrow. I'll see you. See you later. See you.